Hello and welcome to the second part of the Sales Culture Virtual Education. In this chapter 2, we will now talk about why sales culture is important. Just to refresh your memory or give you a quick summary of chapter 1, we've talked about the different areas of sales culture and what sales culture actually is and how you can identify it. And now we will talk about the impact that sales culture will have on your team and your LC. So the structure of this session is pretty similar to the first one. We have again 6 areas that we're going to look at, and they might be very different. They are not all related to the IGIP area, but also to other areas, and we will talk about how this influences your team, how this influences especially your members. So we're going to start with the same thing as in chapter 1. It's once again the performance, because I want to whet your appetite a little bit, because obviously good performance is what you're all striving for and why you actually take the time to watch this video. If you have a good sales culture, the final result will of course be that your performance will be outstanding, because it will lead to great sellers, it will lead to great individuals who will push you and your LC forward a lot. As I said, it's a quite obvious result. Once you have great sellers who enjoy selling and who enjoy their time in the sales team, they will be successful. They will enjoy their work. They will have fun calling. That's why it will work. And one very important thing is that what is going to happen once your sellers actually have taken ownership of their role as sellers is that they will seek satisfaction in their success. So it will be a very important part of their daily life that they are successful in ISEC as sellers. I have seen sellers that were totally disappointed and devastated because they did a sales day and they wanted to win that sales day, and then they only came out with 2 meetings. So it will become part of their self-esteem to be a good seller, and that will definitely yield to an awesome and outstanding performance. So we have already talked about that. It's the self-confidence that is important for sellers. I think it is clear that it's the case, but it's very important to talk about that, because you as a team leader have the task and the mission to make your sellers self-confident. They have to be absolutely sure of themselves when they call companies. They have to know that their product is awesome and their selling skills are great, so that they can convince somebody else of that. And this self-confidence is not only needed in the IGIP area. You need self-confident sellers in all kinds of different areas. Be it the board of supporters, be it even OJX, where you need a good information evening and you need somebody in the front who really rocks the evening and gives everybody a great feeling about this awesome product that is an international internship. So as I said, these sellers are important in so many areas, and this self-confidence is so easily shaken by a seller, because we often do not have success. There's often phases with little success, so it's very important to build up this self-confidence and a good sales culture where your sellers actually understand they are the selling force in your LC will definitely yield to good self-confidence. And then again, it will be very important when you will have to be dealing with failures, which I think you all know as being from the IGIP area. And the next point, which is maybe the most important result and the most important outcome from a great sales culture, is to overcome obstacles. In the IGIP area, there's always times when you have little success. Matching may not work. Like, it takes a lot of time before companies find an appropriate intern, or they might not find one at all. Or you have long droughts concerning the raising, so you get meetings, maybe some, but there's not really TN. The companies are interested, but the Zusatzvereinbarung is not really coming in. So these times are pretty hard, but as your team has a great sales culture, they will overcome that. And even having experienced failure or having long periods without success, they will still have their self-confidence as sellers. They will still know that they will still then know their role and their position, and they will know their quality, and that will help you whenever you have a longer period and where you can motivate your people with success, which is always the easiest. But you can still motivate them by pointing out their role and by referencing to that role and that quality that they have as being sellers. So that is definitely a very important outcome of a great sales culture. And then of course it's learning. So as I pointed out in chapter 1, your members will actually come to you and try to get better. So as you as a team leader or a VP are responsible to develop your people, that is why why your members came to ISEC. They give their time to you because they trust you that you will be able to develop them. And a good sales culture is the best way to do that, because they will actually look for opportunities of education themselves, because they understand that they are sellers and that they have to get better as sellers. So they know specifically where they can check to get better, where they can check for opportunities to get better, and they will look for them. And in this environment, it will be very easy for you to have your members learn things, because all you have to do is provide these opportunities, and then your members will take them themselves. So your main job will be so much easier once you have adapted or introduced a good sales culture. Then of course a good takeover is a great benefit of a good sales culture, because what is going to happen? Your members will get better. You will have a team where you will not only have a good atmosphere, but especially you will have an atmosphere of working, an atmosphere of self-esteem, where people understand themselves as sellers, as workers. And if you can hand over a team of only a couple of these individuals who understand sales culture and who actively live sales culture, if you can hand only over a couple of these people to your successor, then he will have a way easier start. And this is the greatest gift that you can give to your successor, because that will make their work so much easier and so much more fun, especially in the beginning. And then of course these members that have experienced sales culture, have seen what they can learn, have taken over their role and find self-esteem in their work and find satisfaction in their work, they are a lot less likely to quit ISEC between semesters. So it's far more likely that there will actually be people or members for you to hand over to your successor. So it is actually your duty to introduce a good sales culture so that you can do it and that your successor doesn't have to start from zero. And then the last aspect, of course, of a great sales culture is your LC, because the mentality of a good sales team will jump over to any other areas. So imagine this situation. There's a couple of ERlers, or now IGIP sellers, or sellers in other areas, who are sitting in the office, in your office, and are making calls and are shouting at each other like, yes, I got the next company meeting, bam, I have a new raise. This kind of satisfaction and self-esteem that deems from their work will be observed by other teams, will be observed by other team members, and they will take over this mentality and also strive for success in their areas. So this sales culture can actually be an epidemic in your LC, leading to better performance in all kinds of areas. So other teams will strive to comply with the performance of ER now, or then the IGIP sellers in the future. Okay, that is already it for chapter 2. I hope that from this chapter you have taken out a couple of points that will benefit from a good sales culture, and that you have understood how sales culture will improve your LC, and you can actually verify that once you build up the sales culture and once you have the feeling that it is advancing. In the next chapter we will talk about basic sales culture, so mainly how to introduce a sales culture and basic moves that can help to build up a sales culture. We will look at a specific timetable for a semester with concrete action steps that you can take so that you can really take something out of this session. Okay, I hope to see you in that next session, and thank you for listening.